Welcome back to the West Ham Voice on Thursday early evening. Now I'm recording this about 5 o'clock. For all of you, all of those who watched the video I did this morning about Mohamed Kudus, thank you so much for all the comments, the conversations, the debates that we've had, and really some really good, intuitive discussion that was had. And I really, really respect that. You know what I'm like. I try and answer, well, I do answer almost every comment that is put on the videos. So thank you so much. There's a lot of different views about the whole Mohamed Kudus thing. I know fans are still reeling from the announcement that he's going to that club in North London. But that shouldn't stop West Ham United now, given that we're going to be guaranteed some money coming in. That shouldn't stop us now from going out there and doing our own business and bringing players to the club. Now, if you've watched this channel before, or if you've first time that you're watching the West Ham Voice, if you enjoyed the video, please consider becoming a subscriber of the channel. Like I say, I really try and personalize it. I really try to answer every single comment that's made in all the shows I do. I will be getting back to doing live videos again. I promise you, live shows. Just taking that break, so doing a lot of pre-recorded stuff at the moment. But do subscribe to the channel. Cost nothing to subscribe. All the content is free. But if you don't do that, at the very, very least, if you enjoy this show, please do hit the like button at the end as well. Now, I've got to be honest with you. I've lost count of how many players we've been linked to during this particular summer transfer window alone. But I dare say it's probably in triple numbers by now. We're in the hundreds, I'm sure. Now, with many of the targets named, mainly leading to dead ends, there are a handful of names that keep cropping up. And now that we know just how much money we have to spend, West Ham should waste absolutely no time in going out there and getting some of the more valid targets. First, of course, is the name that's been bandied around for quite a few days now, is Slavia Prague's left wing-back El Hadj Malik Diouf. Now, offers have been made already and were turned down by the Czech club because they're not hitting the magic number that President Jaroslav Tidic, I don't know if I pronounced that right, is looking for. He wants around about 21 million euros. We're close. We haven't hit that target yet because we've offered about 17 and a half with add-ons. But what the president wants is just that. He wants the 21. We're not far away, and we should now be able to go in and conclude that deal. Now, Leeds United are also looking at this player. So if West Ham are really keen, we should be getting the deal done soon and not allowing a team that's just been promoted into the Premier League to steal a march on us. So hopefully that deal will get done soon. Now, Diouf was left out of 2 pre-season friendlies against Hungarian side Diosgyőri. They do test me, don't they? Diosgyőri, and Cypriot side Aris Limassol. If I can't pronounce that, I'm ruined. So he was left out of those 2 friendlies this week, which further suggests that the Czech club is ready for the player's departure. If you remember, I mentioned the other day that he was doing his own fitness, his own training regime, and now he's been left out of friendly games as well. Now, he's not a direct replacement to Kudus, so people would ask, rightly so, why are we spending the money on an attacking player for a defensive player? But, I think it's valid. I think it makes sense where Graham Potter is looking to strengthen in areas that he needs to strengthen. And given that he's a left-sided wing-back, left back, it probably means the imminent departure of Emerson. Now, another player who has been on West Ham's radar for quite a while and has been discussed several times before as well is Harvey Elliott of Liverpool. Liverpool player, doesn't get used an awful lot, sort of overlooked by Arne Slot last season. He only had a handful of appearances, and several clubs, several Premier League clubs, are looking at swooping in on getting the player to their clubs. And West Ham is one of those teams that are looking to sign him as well. Look, It would certainly ease the nerves, wouldn't it, somewhat, because of the sale of Kudus, if we got someone like Harvey Elliott to the club. Look, he can play on the right side of attacking midfield, but he's primarily a central attacking midfielder and someone who could add a lot of value in that area for West Ham. He's comfortable playing in a number of different formations, could easily be utilised as a number 10, which would allow players like Paqueta and Alvarez, if they both stay, to operate deeper where they're more comfortable and more, certainly Paqueta is more creative in a deeper role. Elliott has got a great touch, really creative, can take players on, and is a very forward-thinking player. Now, he's not exactly blessed with pace, but and I know fans are saying that we need an injection of pace in our midfield, and I don't deny that at all. But his intelligent link-up play is something that could help overcome the sort of lack of pace that he has. He's adept at linking midfield with attack, and it's something that we've lacked certainly last season. Elliott is a star of the future. There was talk that Liverpool might want to add a sell-on clause or a buyback clause into a deal. And if that's the case, then it'd be interesting to see what price they're looking at. I know a price of up to £50 million has been bandied around, but with the greatest of respect for the young player, I don't think he's valued at that sort of price at the moment. But let's see what happens there. So it'd be interesting to see if we now pursue Harvey Elliott, as was mentioned over the last couple of weeks. Another player that we've been linked to again is Girona right back Arnau Martinez. Now, I mentioned the player briefly the other day. We were linked to Martinez back in July, back in the summer of 2024 in that transfer window. But we eventually opted for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come to the club. Look, Martinez, 22 years of age, still got 2 years left of his contract, and is valued at around between 10 to 15 million euros. Now, what's interesting about the player is his versatility in being able to play either as a right back, his natural position. He can play right midfield, he can play as a wing back, but he can also play as a right-sided centre back. And with rumour that Dinos Mavropanos could be making his way to Roma, Martinez might seem to be a bit of a sensible move. They're valued at roughly about the same sort of price. So whatever we'll get for Mavropanos, we'll pay for Martinez. But there's news from Fabrizio Romano earlier today stating that Toulouse have advised Charlie Creswell that he can now leave the club. And there's speculation, rife speculation, that Premier League clubs are targeting him, and we are one of those clubs. Now, again, his current value is similar to that of Martinez, similar to that of Mavropanos, around 10 to 15 million euros. So that's going to be quite interesting to see if we might throw our bid in for Creswell, who did exceptionally well in the Euro in the under-21s European Championship recently. And speaking of Creswells, we've got to wish Aaron Creswell the best of luck, having been caught on camera with a Stoke City shirt on. He's about to sign. He's about to be revealed as a Stoke City player. So we wish Aaron Creswell the very best of luck. And there are two additional names that have been added to the long list of apparent West Ham targets today. The first is a bit of a left field one, given the age of the players that we've been targeting lately in this particular position, and that is the goalkeeping role. Up until the beginning of this week, we were talking of targeting 22-year-old Japanese international goalie Zion Suzuki. He currently plays at Italian club Parma. And by and large, most of our goalkeeping targets to replace Fabianski have been relatively young. However, we've been linked to today Werder Bremen's goalie Michael Zeta. Now, at the age of 29, he isn't exactly ancient, but I got the impression that we were looking at potentially targeting much younger keepers. But anyway, Zeta is highly regarded by his. He's highly regarded in Germany, but his first team spot seems to be under threat next season, with Werder Bremen looking to potentially invest in that area. He's got 2 years left on his contract and could cost no more than around 5 million euros. As a backup, I guess that's not bad. Last year, a scout reported that Man City were considering targeting the goalie as he was called a Bundesliga hidden gem. For Man City to be considering a goalie like Zeta to be a backup to Ederson seems to suggest just how high a reputation he's built. Now, looking at his scouting stats, to be honest, they don't necessarily shout out, that this guy is a great goalie, but he's definitely a solid goalkeeper. Decent at ball distribution, certainly confident at his feet, good shot stopper, but nothing spectacular. Hello, Sushi. Sushi's making an appearance. And finally, for now, the last player or the next latest player that we've been linked to is Italian club Sassuolo striker Andrea Pinamonti. It's suggested that both Brentford and West Ham are chasing this 26-year-old striker for their club. He's a bit of an old-fashioned striker, a natural goal poacher. You're right. Let me finish and then I'll give you some dinner. He's described as a natural goal poacher, clinical in the box, bit of an old-fashioned striker, very direct, and my thoughts immediately go to the likes of Antonio. But some of his play isn't fantastic. This is from a scouting report I've read. Limited creativity, not great with a ball retention, and below average passing accuracy. Look, I'm not sure why we've been linked to such a player. To be honest with you, maybe it's that he was on loan last season at Genoa. He didn't actually play for Sassuolo. He scored 11 goals in total, 10 in Serie A and 1 in the Italian Cup. And maybe Sassuolo are now looking to move him on. And maybe this is all agent talk, apparently sort of putting it out there that the player, there's interest in the player. Now, that's probably what it sounds like more than anything to me. Look, the last word has got to be on Kudus, although I don't know what else I need to say apart from what's already been said in my show earlier on Thursday. The board have tried to explain their stance on selling the player and selling the player for the price that they agreed on. We know that we're in a mess because of poor player purchases and sales over the years. We have now sold 2 big assets to 2 London rivals over the past couple of years, and fans are rightly asking, why did we move to the London Stadium when we were told that the whole idea of moving was to be competing against teams to build great teams, great squads, etc. But our past has come back to bite us. Poor planning, poor player recruitment, poor long-term player strategy is why we are where we're at. Our only hope now is that Carl McCauley and Graham Potter are given time to develop a similar player recruitment strategy to the one that they had at Brighton. And I know you're all going to say that was data-driven and et cetera, by the owner of Brighton, but that's what McCauley is trying to do at West Ham. Buy low, develop players, sell big. And with that in mind, Mohamed Kudus is not going to be the last player that we're going to sell on in the future. But let's hope that the next player that is sold is for a much bigger profit so that our player recruitment strategy becomes self-financing. But we've got David Sullivan at the helm. He will stop if he just stops dabbling and allows this system to work, then great. But we know he loves to intervene. He likes to get involved. And that's the concern. And if he does get involved in what Carl McCauley and Graham Potter are planning, then he's going to mess this up as well. If he does, then at some stage we will be facing relegation. But I, for one, at this moment in time, don't believe that we'll be in a relegation battle this coming season because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to get in the younger, more dynamic players at the club that's going to set us back on track. If we don't get these players in, then yes, the immediate future might well start to look bleak. But let's see what the transfer business, we do in order to see what path we go down for next season. Thank you for watching and listening. A quick one. Please do hit the like button. Please do consider subscribing. I'll be back again on Friday, I'm pretty sure, because I'm sure there's going to be even more news to give you. But for the moment, thank you for watching and listening. Do hit the like button, and I'll see you all very soon. And a goodbye from Sushi as well. She's bored. See, she's bored with me. She's giving us a big yawn. Thank you.